Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Gift Guide. We are looking at the gift that keeps on giving. So let's take it from the top. In summary, we're going to look at the gift of mindset, number one. Number two, we're going to be looking at how you can change and transform the body by making one small investment that for the majority of people I've been speaking to, your one investment of less than $200 lasts for 10 years or more. Number three, we're going to be delving into the spirit and seeing how you can also be learning to tap into your inner wisdom and get that wonderful spiritual guidance. And then number four, it's the soul, and we're looking at the gift of the soul plan reading. So let's take it from the top for those of you who prefer to maybe watch or listen rather than read. So for those I haven't met before, my name is Marilyn Devonish. I am the Neuro Success Coach, and I thought I'd put together the ultimate gift guide. This can, of course, be used for any time throughout the year. So, number one, the gift of mindset. What I'm talking about here, and I know it might sound weird, talking about gifts, and that's GIFTS rather than moving gifts. So, talking about gifts and including something as intangible as mental health, emotional health, well-being, mindset. Now, as a mental health first aid trainer, and I've been a coach and therapist since October 2000, I talk about mental health being just as vital as looking after your physical health. So, for example, if you, I don't know, cut your arm, cut your knee, whatever it might be, you wouldn't think twice unless you're, let's say, on the middle of a rugby field and you're like, no, I'm just going to keep going. But generally speaking, in day-to-day life, you wouldn't think twice about doing something to clean it up and dress and nurture the wound. With emotional cuts and damage, not so much. First of all, where do you start? You can't see it, you can't touch it, it's not tangible. And I know for myself, the importance of mental health and emotional well-being was brought home in a big way when I contemplated suicide in September 2000. When I then moved into personal development the following month, which was an absolute lifesaver, which is why I'm so passionate about personal development. There was also a side of the movement about, let's make money, which is fantastic. And I realized that suicide is a subject that crosses boundaries because there were people who had everything in terms of the material trappings of Western life, and they still took or contemplated taking their own life, or they suffered from crushing depression. So it's like, well, hold on a minute. How can it be that someone has money, wealth, fame, success, all of those things that many of us are striving for, yet they still had all of this going on? And when they had all of that going on in their mind, their brain, their thinking, the emotions, etc., when that wasn't right, no amount of shiny objects and cool new stuff and the latest this and that and the beautiful houses and cars and yachts, that is a void that oftentimes would not be filled. And they would leave all of that behind. So it was like, okay, as much as mindset doesn't get as much stock and attention and isn't maybe as exciting and as sexy as make more money and all the rest of it and success, without it, it's a bit like the Hertzberg hygiene factor for those of you who are old school in terms of studying management, but it is like one of those hygiene factors. When it's there, you're not really thinking about it. When it's not there, it can jar and mess up the whole system. So I've chosen this, what I'm talking about here in terms of mindset, the gift of mindset, going here for either the 1 hour online breakthrough coaching session or the 1 day online breakthrough coaching session. There's a wonderful client I worked with last week. They sent me a message 2 days after our first 2-hour session saying, thank you for the information and your time and expertise earlier this week. I've already used the calming method a couple of times while on work calls. That is absolutely amazing. That there was something that we shared within that very first coaching session that they've been able to take and implement into their daily working life. And of course, it will work outside of work as well. That's absolutely fantastic. What a gift that is to be able to do that for someone, with someone in such a short space of time. So I really thank the person who sent me that feedback, very much appreciated. And I'm sure will go on to help other people as well. So we've got the life-changing transformation stuff in just minutes and hours. And what I've done here, taking you back to where a lot of this started with me. There's a link here. It's called Breaking Up the Easy Way. It only took 6 hours. And this is on the my MarilynDevonish.com blog site. Marilyn, Marilyn, Devonish, DEV for Victor, ONISH.com, then / breaking - up - the - easy - way - it - only - took - 6 - hours. I'm sure if you just type in Marilyn Devonish breaking up the easy way, whoosh, you'll find it there. But that will give you a little bit of a summary. What I've chosen for number 2 for the body is oh my God, a way to transform lifelong conditions with block therapy. So let me make the disclaimer again. I'm not making any medical claims. I am simply sharing what happened for me and in the thousands of testimonials I've read in the block therapy Facebook group. There are over 10,000 people in that group. The stories have been mind-blowingly incredible. So in a nutshell, my first inkling that this was something special, there's an issue I've had with my ankle for over 30, so that's 10, 20, 30 years. And, it didn't impact my life per se, but it's just I had no lateral movement, so couldn't cross my legs. But hey, I can live life without crossing my legs, sitting cross-legged. That issue was resolved in just 21 days. And I wasn't even focusing on that. Didn't even occur to me that that could happen. So I was like, whoa, it just happened. I like a good dose of synchronicity. It just so happened that it coincided with my out of the blue osteoarthritis diagnosis. So I went from being absolutely fine to boom, almost overnight. It was just insane. And I've since read a few other people who have been in a similar environment, let's say, to me that has happened to. But at the time, it was like, what the hell is going on here? And that was in May 2022. We're currently in December 2023, if you're watching this in real time. But just to give you a kind of timescale, so this was a year and a half ago. So eventually I did all the usual physio, all the rest of it. Nothing was working. It was getting worse. And normally for me, on the rare occasions where I do have to go and see my physio, I have one session and I'm back to normal, because number one, I've already been doing all the HUNA energy clearing to get there, and number two, just needs an adjustment. It just didn't seem to be working in the usual way. And we got to like 5 or 6 sessions, and even my cranial osteopath said, I have no idea what's going on here, Marilyn, because with you the healing is usually instantaneous. I said, I know, it's so weird, huh? And I decided then I'd go and see my GP, general practitioner. For those of you who are in the USA, you would call it your physician, I guess. And they then referred me to the physiotherapist. They then said it sounds and looks, because we were doing a Zoom call and I couldn't move my arm, and they said it sounds and looks like frozen shoulder, but we're going to send you to the hospital, do some x-rays, let's just make sure we know what we're dealing with. So went to the hospital, did the x-rays, and they came back with osteoarthritis, and I was like, what, get out of here. However, after what happened with my ankle after just 3 weeks, I was like, I wonder if it would work with my shoulder. So I then started to put a bit more focus on some of the areas and cause sites for the shoulder. Within 6 weeks, I would say I was 80% back to normal. And I actually went back to see my osteopath. And I didn't tell him what I'd been doing at first. He said, okay, so, raise your left arm, raise your right arm, do this, do that. And then once I'd raised them both, he realized, it's like, wow, what's happened? So I told him about the block therapy. And he had said to me, before I told him what had gone on, he says, Marilyn, it looks like you're 80% there. So he came up with his physical manipulation, the same as my guesstimate. That was within the first 6 weeks. Within 8 weeks, it was no longer an issue. And as I'm speaking to you right now, that was a year and a half ago, and I'm still absolutely fine. So it's been amazing. Now, we've got 2 options here for you. You can either get the block therapy blocks. Many of the people I've spoken to in the block therapy group have had their blocks for about 10 years. Some of them have had them for longer. So it's one investment that will keep on delivering. Or you can dip your toe in the water without needing to get the wooden blocks, which if you're watching this rather than just listening to the audio, you'll see them on screen here. And you can do the free, what we call the 9-day sampler program. Now, the reason it's free, it's normally $47. I was so blown away with just hearing about the concept of block therapy that I arranged a series of 2 interviews with the founder, Deanna Hansen. She's amazing. And she did a live Zoom webinar call for my e-newsletter subscribers. So everyone on my e-newsletter list was invited to attend. Deanna talked about block therapy, explained what it was, and then my group had a chance to ask questions both in the chat and coming on camera. Myself, Marilyn Devonish, and Dr. Margot, who introduced me to block therapy, we were all on the call. What Deanna did was set up a link where people could get the $47 sampler program completely free of charge, and you don't need the blocks, you just need a rolled up towel. So this is the link here. I'll say it and I'll spell it. It's transformationstm.com/block therapy gift. So that's TRANCE, F for Freddie, so FORMATIONS tm.com/block therapy gift. Block therapy gift is all one word, no dashes. So that's if you want to do the 9-day sampler. All you will need is a rolled up towel. That's it. If you wanted to dive straight in and get the blocks for yourself or someone else, then go to transformationstm.com/block therapy. And that's BLOCK therapy. Again, no dashes. Block therapy, I've written it as one word. So transformationstm.com/block therapy. So you've got your 2 options there. What I've also done on the page that I'm speaking to you about now, which is the gift page, I have added a link to the interview that I did with the Telegraph newspaper, and they have called it, powerful pain relief. So they're doing a series on ways that you can get pain relief, and also maybe slightly unusual ways. I'm just going to issue a disclaimer here. Please note that I did not use a yoga block, I did not do Pilates, and I did not use yoga to get my shoulder back to where it was, back to normal, because that's what they sort of say in the article. I think it might have been a bit challenging for whoever ended up doing the final edit on the article, who hadn't spoken to me, hadn't done the interview. I think it may have just been a little bit too much for their brain to believe that this wooden block did all of that. So they said I used a yoga block and did Pilates. I've got them to do a little bit of a retraction. I couldn't get them to actually say the words block therapy, and they said it's something like a yoga block. So please, just for your own safety, do not use a yoga block to do the things you're seeing in block therapy, because you could potentially do yourself more harm than good. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I've also set up a metaverse block therapy room. So this is www.online.transformationstm.com/block therapy room. And again, block therapy room, no dashes, just one word. And I've put a little bit of a collage here just so you can see physically some of the results for yourself here. So someone with scoliosis, someone with Dowager's hump, someone with the cellulite and the overhanging skin on the stomach. You can see the difference in the after photos, changes in posture and alignment, weight loss, the block therapy facelift. All of that is there. Again, not giving you medical information or advice, just showing you some of the results that people have had. So you can have a click on that one as well. So that's number 2, the body. And I'm not, seriously, if I were to do an A to Z list of all of the conditions that people have talked about in the block therapy group that they have had miraculous results with, and there are people in the group, there's someone in the group who's working with his father who is 100, I think it's either 100 or 102. He's 100 plus years old, and he was talking about how his father has been benefiting from block therapy. And there was someone, it was in my e-newsletter last week, if you're watching this in real time, where one of my clients that I introduced to block therapy last year when I did those series of webinars with Deanna, she said she's now keeping up with Quinn, who is a man half her age. And Quinn is in his early 30s. And my client, who is almost double his age, is now having been doing block therapy, able to keep up with Quinn in the block therapy videos, and Quinn does block therapy fitness as well. My client, who's almost double the age of Quinn, is able to keep up with him. That's how incredible it has been. So do definitely check that out. Right, actually, I'm going to have a sip of water first. Give me a sec. Right. Number three is the spirit. And here we're going to delve into a bit to your universe, metaverse, etc. There are a number of ways that I could have approached the offer for the spirit and the gift there, but I've narrowed it down to the tarot and angel tarot readings for the purposes of this initial version of the gift guide, because the tarot is also tapping into your inner wisdom and awakening your own spiritual guidance. So that's why I've gone for that one. Oh, actually, your own inner wisdom, and I think that'd be a good way to say it. So I'm on the draft page at the moment. I haven't published this yet. I'm just getting it ready for my e-newsletter list. Right, there we go. And awakening your own spiritual guidance, edited. Let's save the draft. There we go. So that's one. So what we've got here is the 12 card reading for the year ahead. So one card for each of the months of the year. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, Of course, you could do that any time of the year, but just happen to be offering it now. I haven't offered, it's been 7 or 8 years since I offered this, the 12 card year ahead reading. I remember the first time I did it, one of the people who came forward, Lisa. So we did the reading probably in the November of the year before. And I, saying giving readings for each of the months. It came to May the following year, and I get an excited message from Lisa saying, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe this." And something I had said that would transpire in May. So I'd said it, 6-7 months before. Something I'd said that would transpire in May actually happened in the May. That was just like, whoa. And one of the things you hear most often from my clients when I'm doing tarot readings is, wow, spot on, OMG, and you're not going to believe this. So that's what I hear most often with regards to the tarot readings. So decided this year, for a limited time only, I would offer a few more of those. I've done the first of them already. And what you get with regards to those, you'll get a recording of the reading, send you an image of the cards as well, and there's also the option to have a transcript of the whole reading. And the reason why I thought it'd be a good idea to do a written transcript is so that you don't have to go back and, unless you want to, listen to the whole recording again. You could just search the Word document and search for April, for example, and it will then take you to what we discussed and what I said in April. So I thought that would be a nice thing to do as well. So yes, you can book that. And I have added, Yes, I've added the link there, marylyndevonish.thrivecart.com/tarot-reading-with-Marilyn-Devonish. But when you're on this page, then just click that link and it will take you through to where you can book one of the remaining 12 card year ahead readings. So that's that. And this is one of my clients from Tarot Tuesday, because I do free tarot readings the first Tuesday of every month. I do those via Facebook Live in the membership group. And oftentimes I'm talking to myself because I just have to do the readings at a time where I've just got time and people aren't necessarily there live, but they'll come back and watch the replay. So this is from someone who watched the replay and they said, "Hi, Marilyn, I've just listened to the recording and OMG, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. What can I say? But you were 1,000,000% spot on with my reading. I'm blown away with it all." And I never know what people want me to read about. I would just do the reading. So it's not that they said, "Can you give me a reading about X?" And then I made up a load of stuff about X. It isn't that. I do what I call cold reading. So I have no idea what's going on for the client. Right. So number 4, the soul. This one was an easy choice because we're going to do the soul plan readings. They are amazing. My clients often describe the soul plan readings as being like seeing their whole life laid out on 5 sheets of paper. Absolutely incredible. And one of the wonderful things, and again, I've chosen this one as one of the gifts that keeps on giving, is you can look at your soul plan report a year later, 5 years later, probably 10 years later. I just haven't got, actually, no, I'm getting to that point now because I did had my first soul plan reading and became a soul plan practitioner in November 2013. and it's currently December 2023. So we're just hitting that point now. And when I went back and looked at my soul plan about 2-3 years ago, there's stuff that on there was interesting when I first did the reading, but wasn't really applicable. I read it a few years ago and I was like, whoa, that is just where my life is right now. And it was so relevant. It almost stood out like a beacon. And many of my clients have said they've either gone back intentionally to read the soul plan reading, or they've come across the soul plan report, because you get a copy of the report via email before we do the one-to-one reading. And they said, oh my God, Marilyn, it's still speaking to me, it's still relevant, it's still helping me. And so that's why I've chosen this one, as well as it, just not be just because it's called a soul plan reading. So at the moment, there's 25% off if you find the relevant page behind my online advent calendar. So I've set up an advent calendar. I'll show you that in a few minutes just to give you a flavor of what's in there. So there's 25% off a soul plan reading. If, however, the advent calendar offer is closed because it's only on for Christmas and just the beginning of the new year, I think I've set it until the 7th of Jan, something like that. So it's only open for a limited time. So if you've missed that, go to my main website, transformationstm.com, TRANCE, F for Freddy, FORMATIONS, TM.com. So go to transformationstm.com/soul plan. Soul plan is one word, no dashes, and it will take you to the soul plan booking page. But at the moment, in real time, today's the 21st of December 2023, there is 25% off. You can buy the soul plan reading for yourself, or you can gift it to someone. If you're gifting it to someone once you've purchased, just email me the name so that when they get in touch, I actually know who they are. But yes, so that's the soul plan reading. I've also outlined here, because many people have not heard of the soul plan, so I've outlined the 7 key aspects that we're looking at: the worldly challenges, blocks, barriers, negative patterns that you're here to face and overcome in the first phase of your life. Your worldly talents, those are things that naturally come to you most easily. Oftentimes, one of the things I notice about the soul plan, it gives people permission, because often they'll say, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to do that. I wasn't sure if I had the skill, the talent, the ability, etc. So when they see it in their soul plan, it's like, wow, there's the worldly goals, your aspirations, the things you're here and you want to master. Then we move on to what we call the downward, where there's the downward triangle, the worldly, the upward triangle is the spiritual. I explain all of that when we do the reading. And we've got spiritual challenges. So what are those spiritual lessons and opportunities, spiritual talents, the gifts and abilities that you have more immediate access to, particularly as you grow and evolve, your spiritual goals. So what's your mission? What's your higher purpose? And then sitting in the center of that is the culmination, the soul destiny, about your highest potential overall purpose. So these readings, as with all of the coaching therapy, either online or by telephone. And I've been doing online coaching, online training, and online therapy and telephone coaching, training, and therapy since 2005. So it was not just in response to the pandemic pivot. Everything has been tried and tested for coming up to 2 decades now, to make sure it's fit for purpose. So you've got all the information there. And I've also set up the soul plan test room. Actually, there's a different link I'll put in there, but I've created the soul plan metaverse room. So I'll add the link there, and you'll also find a video interview that I did with the radio station. I've also added the video here actually as well. And you'll also find, if you wanted to download a demo soul plan, so you wanted to see a soul plan report for yourself, I've added that to the metaverse room. So I shall add the link there. And this is a radio interview that I did with Lisa Bent, who was at that time a presenter on Colourful Radio, just under 20 minutes. So press play, you know what to do. So that's it in terms of the ultimate gift guide to get us started. Something for the mind, something for the body, something for the spirit, something for the soul. I've summarized them all here. Now, when you're looking at the finished version, you should see a little button or link here, and it will take you through to the respective pages. I've also added the direct links here, plus a link to the Advent calendar. And with regards to the Advent calendar, there's 21 plus windows. I think it's 23, 24 in total. They include, as well as 25% off a soul plan reading, you can get 10% off 10% off all private one-to-one online coaching and online therapy sessions. Plus, some of the other goodies include free Huna energy clearing, the 90-minute moon meditation MP3 audio download, tips for spreading Yuletide cheer and happiness for free, a free Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest online workshop with myself, Marilyn Devonish, and clairvoyant Gina Batt. Free kind of read at 25,000 words per minute intro, something to blow your socks off. I've added a link to an article, what the angel numbers 444 can mean for your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships and career. There was an online article that I wrote a piece for about 444, plus a number of other contributors as well. So you get a nice perspective. What would this period be without an 80s trivia quiz? So there's a free 80s online trivia quiz. So you might be the quiz master and be reading it out to other people, or you can do it yourself individually. I thought a bit of New Year enlightenment actually with Greg Braden. So there's a replay of the interview that I did with Greg Braden a couple of years ago. Oh, actually, yes, you can get buy one tarot reading, get one free, which means you can purchase a tarot reading for yourself and you can then gift another one to someone. So you can be saying, hey, I bought you a Christmas gift, I bought you a New Year gift. If you're watching this at a different time of year, got you a Christmas present, birthday present, anniversary present, or just a present because I love you. And so you can buy one tarot reading, get one free. Now, just to say on that one while I'm thinking out loud, I will also, this one applies to the tarot readings on my main website, but what I will do, if you do, while this offer is open, purchase one of the tarot readings from Thrivecart, because this one here is a different price point to just doing a regular reading, because with a regular reading, depending on whether you're booking a 30-minute session or a 1-hour session, with particularly with a shorter session, we're just picking 2 or 3 cards. We've got 12 cards here for the year ahead. So what I will do, if you book using this Thrivecart link while the advent calendar offer is open, I think I'll have to check, but I think I've set the coupon codes to expire the first week of January. So if you're booking a tarot reading during that window, but using the Thrivecart page, which at the moment is set up for the year ahead, I will also then gift you a second reading that you can give to someone else. So, and there's tons more. So I've just added a little flavor of what you can expect here. The Final Win workbook, a really brilliant way to close out a year or whatever time frame you're in, and start the next phase, quarter, etc. In this case, the new year, the 25% off the soul plan reading. So it gives you the code there. You just copy the code, click the book now button, and then you just add the coupon code on the booking page. This is the link where you can get 10% off. So again, copy and paste the code, click the link that the coupon code is linked to, and then you can redeem your 10% off, whether it's a 1-hour session, it might be coaching, therapy, Huna, access consciousness, past life regression, future life progression, a 1-day breakthrough session, whatever it is you want to do. It will be 10% off again while the advent calendar coupon codes are valid. This is the 25,000 words per minute. So just click there. No need to register. Just press play. We've got some ideas for how you can maybe do some volunteering, and I've put a couple of links in there and some suggestions about how you can do a global URL search to find similar information to what I've shared here. The Greg Braden, again, you can listen to the interview audio, or you can just press the play button here. What we got here, they download the free Huna MP3 recording, and just some little hints and tips, share a smile. And I've added one of my favorite blogs about the power and gift of kindness. So you just click the red button there. So that's just a small snippet of what's included. As I said, there are 21 windows on the online advent calendar. And when you land on the page, click the red button, and then there's a drop down menu on the advent calendar page where you can then choose whichever day you want to go to. And with the days, it just says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, 6, 7, etc. So you don't know what's behind each of the doors, so you've got to click and find out. But that's part of the fun of it, is it not? And then in closing, I have added a golden ticket to the advent calendar. And for those of you who get the golden ticket, you will get a free place on my January 2024 Living the Law of Attraction online video webinar workshop. So there are a set number of active codes. So if you happen to cut and paste and click the codes while they're still active, you'll get a free place, and that's taking place in January 2024. And there are two dates. There's a weekday date and a Saturday date. So you've got two opportunities, just choosing one of those dates to attend, but that's the golden ticket there. So that's it. So I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek while I'm putting this together. So I'll be emailing this out to my e-newsletter list shortly. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the ultimate gifts. I've chosen all of these things because they have changed my life in some way, shape, or form. And with the thousands, probably tens of thousands of people that I've worked with over the past 23 plus years, these have just been absolutely amazing, life-changing. My water drop has been the ripple effect. Chose that in very early 2001. And the reason I chose that is because I recognize the power of this work was like a ripple effect. So we would do the work, which was back in those days, the 1-day breakthrough session. And the power of that, my intention was the power of that would continue to ripple throughout people's entire lives. And a few years ago, I received an email from a previous breakthrough session client. They were saying, I'm working with a colleague. She's looking for an executive coach. I would like to recommend you. Is this something you're still doing? I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. Feel free. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much. And then they said, oh, and I've been meaning to tell you that the effects of the 1-day breakthrough session we did are still rippling throughout my entire life. And I read that and I thought, oh my God, it's probably been about 10 years since I worked with him. So sure enough, I went back to my database. We had done a 1-day breakthrough session 10 years prior, and the changes were still rippling throughout his entire life. And in that moment, I knew what I said as the intention was true. And to have it reflected back in that way was like, wow, this is incredible. So you might want to give one of these incredible gifts to yourself. Or if you're in a place where you're all sorted, then you may want to gift something life-changing to someone else. So thank you so much for watching. Do feel free to share this link, share this video, share the link to the Advent calendar if we're still in that particular season, if we're in the Advent period. But yeah, what can I say? These have been life-changing. It's been a game changer. Cannot imagine. Well, actually, my life may not have continued on had I not stumbled into this. But yeah, I just cannot imagine my life without these things. And again, the same with the Advent calendar. The things that I've chosen to put behind each of the virtual doors are things that have impacted and changed my life in some way, shape, or form. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And also a massive thank you to those of you who have been clients over the years, because without you, none of this is possible. I need clients to work with. So I really, really thank you for your custom, and also thank you to those who have recommended other people to me over the years, because word of mouth is one of the most powerful ways that you can do that. Being seen on social media with the way the algorithms are and the number of people that are in the field, and also the power of AI to create cool sounding stuff that may not necessarily have as much substance beneath it. That's a conversation for another day. But yeah, you're sharing and telling people about this work is absolutely crucial as well for me to be able to continue to do what I am doing. So I really thank everyone who, whether you're clicking a thumbs up, hitting that share button, and more powerfully sharing a few words about your experiences, even something as simple as saying highly recommended, this is worth a look, I've done this, or this looks great, or I know someone who's attended. All of that stuff just, ramps it up to a whole other level. So thank you to everyone who has done that over the past 23 plus years. Well, I shall leave it there. Marilyn Devonish here, the Neuro Success Coach from transformationstm.com. Over and out, and good luck with the Advent calendar. And I look forward to working with those of you who would like to gift yourself or someone you care about one of these amazing modalities. Catch you all later, and hope that you are all fit and healthy and well.